Hey, what's up, Urban Youth Workers? This is Eric Vasquez, and I'm coming from Pomona. I just want to greet you in the name of the Lord, and I have the privilege of getting the opportunity to talk to you and train you up a little bit when it comes to mentoring and discipling kids that are from gang territories and are affiliated with certain neighborhoods in your cities. This is something that's close to my heart and that I've been doing for a long time. And I just want to start by saying you want to make sure you're doing 3 things before you even consider moving into this work. The first thing I would say is you definitely want to lay it down in prayer. But I think there needs to be a specificness to your prayer. So you want to pray about what city is God calling you to? What part of the city is God calling you to? Is there a specific neighborhood or gang that you feel drawn towards that the Spirit is leading you to serve and love? Because in my city, I really feel like God has called me to the entire city and to minister to all of the gangs and all of the neighborhoods in my hood. And I don't really feel a specificness. So I work really hard to really respond to the leading and the prompting of the Lord. I think the other thing you want to make sure you do is that you go with blessing, that you go with the blessing of your family. For me, I sat down with my wife and my children. I shared my heart because I know that getting into this type of ministry, there is a little bit of risk involved. And I wanted to make sure that I had the okay of my lady and my children knew exactly what I was getting myself into, exactly what we were getting into. I think you also want to have the blessing of the church. Sometimes as energetic ministers, we want to get out there and we want to do the work, right? But we fail to communicate to our leadership. And I think that it's so important at the forefront to do that with your pastors, your lead pastors, the ministry heads that are over you, and even involve the entire church to be praying for you as you are planning to go out and do this work. And then I think lastly, before you start stepping into the 3 phases that we'll talk about, we want to determine in our hearts that we're going to be committed in this work for the long haul, that we're going to be determined to be consistent, because you're never going to be successful without that consistency. So now I'm going to just talk to you about the 3 phases that I've really put together for us to be trained up and ready and confident to go out in the name of the Lord and see His miracles done with these young people in our neighborhoods and in our cities. Phase 1, I want to encourage you to familiarize yourself with your city. For me, I went to the local police station and I asked them for a city map, and they broke down what gangs are in what areas of the city. I did my homework. I got the history of each gang, and I understood the territory and boundaries, and I made sure I knew not to cross certain ones at certain times. I think I also had to recruit my own soldiers. I had to get youth workers and OGs, some veteran cats who were willing to go with me, who had the respect of these people. I had to get some younger cats who would be willing to walk into these places with me. I had to get those prayer warriors. I had to partner up with local police. I had to start partnering with some of the other gang interventionists and the people who are doing these works and already have these relationships, so I can come alongside them. So familiarize yourself with your city. Prepare yourself to the best of your ability. Now I want to talk to you about phase 2. I want to make sure that you guys understand the importance of being on a campus and staying on a campus. When you're working with kids from the neighborhood who are repping different gangs or different crews or tagging crews, where are they at? They're either in the streets or they're on a school campus. And you want to do what we call early intervention with these kids. One of the things that has helped me be the most successful in my gang intervention and in my work with these kinds of kids is that I catch them early. You know, I'm meeting them when they're in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I'm building my relationships and rapport then. I'm earning their trust. I'm showing up and showing out, and I'm being consistent in their lives. And later, you know, when they move into their teen life and into their adult life, I have credibility with them, and I'm able to speak into their life. I think also getting on campus allows you to advocate for these youth more effectively. So you're building relationships with administrators who kind of hold the keys when it comes to discipline with these youngsters. A lot of these youngsters are finding themselves in the office a lot of times, right? I'm working with campus police who are a different extension of the police department. I'm working with CSOs who are on site. These are campus security officers. And I'm really advocating for the young person. For example, you know, this young man got into a fight. He was suspended, and I had enough relationship with these folks that I was able to, rather than him staying at home doing absolutely nothing, I got permission to have him come with me for the entire day where I could mentor, disciple, and really speak into this young man's life. So familiarize yourself with the city. Get on campus and stay on campus so you can connect to these young people in the early stages. And lastly, I want you to be present in their neighborhoods and be light. Yes, we can do our homework of our cities and know the territories and know when to cross and not to cross. Yes, it's important for us to get on campuses and to stay on campuses, to be consistent, to make those early connections. But I think it's just as important to go into their territory, to have that missionary mindset, to go where they are and to love them in their space. You know, one of the greatest stories I have is, you know, I would load my truck up with food, with clothes, with gear, and I would pull into these neighborhoods and I'd bless the kids in the neighborhood. In order for me to earn the respect of some of the people that, you know, pulled weight and that had a little bit of authority in those neighborhoods, I would have to play basketball against them sometimes, right? But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't grab the ball and shoot here and there, right? I started building in their space, in their neighborhoods. And really soon what happened was I was welcome into that space. And as I'm really in that space, it gives me freedom to connect to families, to connect to brothers and sisters, parents. And as I have that holistic approach, it really helps me be effective as a youth worker to find opportunity to have conversations with them that are centered on Christ. So now I'm in their neighborhood and I could say, hey man, what are you doing out here? It's late. You really should be inside doing your homework, getting ready to go to school. And I could say something like, what are you doing with your life? Who do you want to become, right? What kind of person are you developing into? And I could say, you know, in my life, you know, the difference was when I gave my life to Christ. You know, being present and being light in those neighborhoods gives you opportunity to have life-changing conversations that are centered on Christ and His Word. So I want to encourage you guys, man, do your homework, familiarize yourself with the city, get on campuses and stay on campuses. And lastly, I want to encourage you to get into those neighborhoods. Do not be afraid. In Deuteronomy, the Lord tells Joshua, I go with you, I go before you, as he's getting ready to succeed Moses. He says, do not fear, right? I want to encourage you guys, man. Don't be afraid to go into those places. God is already at work there. He's already ministering, and you're just stepping in and partnering with Him. So connect their hearts to Jesus as you connect their hearts to yours. God bless you guys. I hope that this helps you. I'm going to be praying for you, and we'll talk to you soon.